Is buying a foreclosure property the bargain that most people think it is? Buyers reach out to us wanting to buy a foreclosure property because they've heard stories of other people buying foreclosure for bargain prices. Well, sometimes that can happen, but there's often more to the story than just that. And we're going to cover it in this video because over the years I have bought numerous foreclosure properties myself, and we've helped lots of our clients buy foreclosure properties as well. So we have lots of experience in this. And in case you're still interested after watching this video, we have a link to foreclosure properties on our website. I'll put the link in the description below. So go check it out if you're still interested. Now, whenever you buy a property, it doesn't matter if it's a foreclosure or just a regular sale, when you buy, always keep a set of the purchase documents, the original purchase documents, because you're going to need that when you sell. As an example, here is one that I sold recently. And it turns out that this was a foreclosure, and I'd also assumed the mortgage. Let's just see what's involved. So there's a lot of paperwork with this one. Just let's run through. So it's starting on March 8 and going to March 14. So starting on March 8, going to March 14, a whole year later. I mean, yeah, lawyers must charge by the page. Now, sure, there were some complications with this one. That meant a much higher legal fee and closing costs. So when you factor that into the purchase price, it turned out to be about the same as a regular purchase. So was there even any benefit to buying foreclosure? So for some buyers, buying a foreclosure property, it can be a good option, but it's not what I would suggest if you're a first-time home buyer or some sort of newbie investor, or if you're trying to do your first fix and flip. Something else to point out is that there are two different types of foreclosure. The first one is a court sale. And when you buy a court sale, all offers are unconditional. This means you cannot have any conditions to protect you. Your financing has to be 100% solid, paying all cash if necessary. And you have to work on the court's schedule. They will determine the court date when they review all offers. And trust me, there will be a lot of offers, sometimes dozens. So how much of a bargain are you really getting then if you're competing against all those other offers? And if the court chooses your offer, congratulations, you've just bought. And no guarantees, no warranties, no comebacks, no anything like that. What you see is what you get. And then the court will also set the possession date. The other type of foreclosure is a bank sale. And a bank sale, it's a lot like a regular purchase, meaning you can put conditions to protect yourself, but once again, there are no guarantees or warranties of any kind. And most likely, it will be multiple offer situation as well. So once again, you're competing against all of those other buyers. On the good side, however, you have time to do your due diligence. And if you don't get your financing, then you don't have to remove conditions and buy. And bonus tip, we always recommend work with an experienced realtor who knows the market, because not all foreclosure properties are priced well below market value. Bank sales need a minimum so that they can clear any debt against the property. But what happens if that property is underwater, meaning there is more owed than what the property is actually worth? And this is actually very common with foreclosure. In fact, it's one of the reasons it probably goes to foreclosure in the first place. And of course, a lot of foreclosure properties are priced cheap because they need substantial renovations. Now, unless you can do the work yourself or you have a reliable contractor, there's no real benefit in you buying that property. For some buyers, buying a foreclosure property, it can be a good option, but we don't recommend it if it's your first home. You may be better off with a traditional purchase. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.